Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for BroadwayWorld, the critically acclaimed West End revival of Stephen Sondheim and George Furth's Merrily We Roll Along, directed by Olivier Award winner Maria Friedman, will be shown in movie theaters across the United States for one night only on October 23rd, and I'm on the red carpet for the New York premiere. Share some memories of what it was like working on the original production of MERRILY.
Right. Well, I was the last cast. Mary was the last cast. And so everyone had developed a wonderful friendship because we were going to several months before we went to rehearsal. And so we were at picnics together, and even Stephen Sondheim would tootle in with his bicycle out in Central Park and have cookies with us. It was a lot of fun. But by the time we had started the first day of rehearsal, we were all friends. And by the time we really launched into things, Lonnie Price, who played Charlie Kringus, and Jim Walton, who then finally took over as Franklin Shepard and I, we actually were very good friends. And so when we had the reunion back in 2002, we were truly old friends.
So here we are. How excited are you to be here tonight?
I'm incredibly excited to be here tonight. How excited are you?
I am too. Very excited. Yeah.
Steve tells me that it could not, this is the ultimate, final, best ever version of MERRILY. So how bad can one feel going to see that? I mean, it's wonderful.
And that this is the one that was filmed.
This is the one, and he said the performances could not be better. So that's from the man himself. So, you know, what more could one ask for?
So here we are, we're all dressed up. Tell me what tonight means to you being here.
Oh, it's so exciting to see this musical on film, and to see my friend David Babani, who is the producer at the Chocolate Factory, who invited us. It's really exciting, and I think Stephen Sondheim is going to be here tonight, so it's wonderful to support him and to support this work. I love this show.
Amazing. You know, this was this flop show that has lived on over the years, and they've tinkered with it over and over and over. What does Sondheim mean to you as a fellow composer?
Well, I had the great good fortune on Steve's 80th birthday. You know, there were like 100 events that year, and the Roundabout threw him a really big event, and I wrote a song that I got to sing in front of 900 people, and it talked about my first exposure to Steve's work was through Sweeney Todd, actually, and to see, you know, to see an artist his whole life long working on shows, some of which were very successful at the beginning, and some which have grown over time and changed. It's exciting. It's a great reminder for me as a creator of musicals to be able to do that I can constantly revisit and rewrite and rework and you know, make my shows better. So that's exciting.
So tell me what's brought you out tonight.
I was invited, and I'm a huge, of course, Sondheim fan, so I'm just so happy to be here.
Did you know the show well?
I don't know it at all. This is the first time ever seeing it, so which is usually a thing for me, so I'm so excited to see this production. And I love the Chocolate Factory. Night Music came from there, and so I know they have amazing productions, so I'm so excited.
Well, of course, you got to work with Stephen Sondheim on a little Night Music. What was that whole experience like for you?
Oh, it was amazing. Stephen is not even needing to be said, but he's a genius and so supportive and so poignant. I still will reread emails from him about notes in the past and just like kind of reliving that experience because it was so special. He is amazing.
So tell me what has brought you here tonight.
Well, you know, I did this in La Jolla in 1986. We were the first, I did the first revival after it had been on Broadway. I was devastated I wasn't on Broadway doing it. Lonnie did it, and then Lapine got involved, and we ended up doing it in La Jolla with Heather McRae and John Rubinstein. And it was maybe one of the best, you know, it's one of the best experiences of all of our lives. That James invited me to his country house in New York for an afternoon barbecue. And as I got out of the car, he said, "You know what? It's not going to happen. We're not coming in." And all I could think of is I've got like 4 hours of grilling swordfish now, and I'm devastated. But in that meeting, he said, "I'm working on something else now called Into the Woods." And that was as we went upstairs. He showed me like 4 pages of Into the Woods, which was a scene of where it was snowing, and the rest is history.
So tell me what's brought you here tonight.
Well, I'm here because I'm good friends with Mr. David Babani, who is a producer of this thing and you know, proprietor of the Chocolate Factory. So I'm really excited to see this show, and I'm a big fan of the musical, and I'm looking forward to seeing it in movie form.
Everybody loves this musical, and this was a troubled show early on, but it's lived on and on. What do you love about it?
You know, I have never seen it perform, so I don't want to answer that question. I want to answer it after I see the movie, but I've read in Mr. Sondheim's book all about it and about the trials and tribulations, and it's just kind of, there's a lore attached to it that I'm really attracted to, and I think everybody in theater is. Yeah.
Now, what are you working on?
I'm working on a new show at New York Theater Workshop called What's It All About? Bacharach Reimagined. It's my new take on Burt Bacharach's catalog, so it should be fun.
So what's brought you out here tonight?
Well, they got in touch with me for this, and I was like, oh, yes.
You got to work with the man himself, Stephen Sondheim. What was it like working with him?
I was a dream because, I saw the original Assassins 3 times in 1991, and it was just great meeting him. And he's a wonderful, funny, irreverent guy that has fantastic stories and is very generous. We always had parties at his house, and I run into him a lot too, and I see him. But I think he's the last of the great ones. There's him and John Kander. We lost Fred Ebb. There's some newbies coming up that are pretty good. That Justin Paul and Benjamin Pask, they're pretty brilliant, I think, those two. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with their youth.
All right, first of all, how excited are you two to be here tonight?
Pretty exciting. I did this show originally. He was very little and was running up and down the aisle screaming, "I don't want to leave the theater," during rehearsal. So this is a show that means something to both of us, and it's been in our family for as long as the show's been around.
But do you remember the first time you met Stephen Sondheim?
Yeah, the first time I met him was when Hal Hastings had died, and I had to go take over night music. And I'll never forget what he said. I was hired because I had done that first Scrabble album. That's where he knew me from, because I had never done anything before then. And I had a meeting with him before I had to go to the first rehearsal. And I said, I'm a little nervous about this. He said, you don't have to be nervous. Just do what you do, and it'll be fine. That's the entire note he's given me for the last 30 years. So,
see, good notes.
Yeah.
So, first of all, you've worked with Stephen Sondheim. I've asked everybody, what is it like working with him? Because you created musicals with him.
Well, to be fair, he created the musicals, but he creates them sort of on your bones. Do you know what I mean? You're in at the beginning. You watch the changes come in. You get to see something fresh every day, and you know that he's thinking in your voice, and it's pretty thrilling.
Do you remember the note sessions? Because he's very succinct, isn't he?
He's succinct, and so is James Lapine, but they know what they want, and that's brilliant. I'm excited about this.
Can I ask you what you're working on now?
I'm doing, for the first time ever in my entire life, a cabaret act at 54 Below. I know, I said yes, and it's so much fun. That and a couple of other things, not theater related, but movie related. So.
What kind of songs have you chosen for the show?
Very eclectic mix of things. There are a couple of Sondheim songs, and then there's some Billy Joel and some James Taylor and some old stuff from the 40s, and it's a mix.
Right. How excited are you tonight?
I can't believe it. I genuinely am very excited.
Tell me what you love about this musical. This was a troubled musical that everybody fell in love with.
Well, for me, it's a love story, and that's what I love the most about it. It's about friends, and it's something we can all relate to. We all want to love, and we've all got friends, and we all know how important that is to stick, loyally to with some integrity to things that really matter, and not get too sidetracked by ambition and other stuff. So it's a real good human story, and as I said, it's a love story, and that's what I love the most about it. And of course, the genius music of Stephen Sondheim, and a brilliant book by George Furth. Brilliant. He knows how people talk, so he writes really well. It's easily said by an actor, full of character.
And a beautiful cast. I fell madly in love with Jenna Russell here in Sunday in the Park. So what was it like casting this show and working with your company?
I took about 6 months to cast, because I knew that the key to it was getting a great chemistry, because it's not about who sings best. It's about real connection and people who are happy to kind of really, really dig deep. And so I chose actors who were incredibly, I think, actor first, singer second.